And their new quarterback is about to come out of the tunnel.
How could you love me and leave me and never say goodbye when I can't sleep at night without holding you tight? Girl, each time I try, I just break down and cry. Pain in my head, oh, I'd rather be dead. Spinning it around and around. Oh, we go, oh yeah, to the end of the road. Still I can't let go. It's unnatural. You belong to me, I belong to you.
I'd like to take this moment to take a moment of silence for Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets season. All right, my man, you can go.
Let's get it.
Listen, I feel for the Jets fans, man. I really do. But listen, football's still going on. It's week 2. We gotta keep moving on, and we are back. Laces Out Podcast, episode 2, season 2. Got my peoples with me. Got Jim. I got Reg. Back at it again. Let's go. Let's talk about a couple of things. So the first thing I want to talk about, because the last time that we had an episode, it was pre-draft, right?
Yep.
And we kind of made some predictions, and we predicted that one person would reach, and they did not disappoint. We went with Derek. We said that they would pick up Derek Henry because they're a Titans fan, but instead they picked up Nick Chubb with the number 2 pick. Let's talk about that. How y'all feel about that? Nick Chubb, number 2.
Jim, you go and I'll go.
Yeah, so being the league that we're in right now and stuff, I get the answer that he gave, and he wants a solid person who's going to get this type of production. But for me, if you're going to go and reach for a running back early because you want that position, in a 1-point PPR league, you get a running back that catches the ball consistently.
Correct.
So it's
Correct.
CMC, it's Eckler. I mean, it used to be JT, but JT's like a wash right now. Saquon. I would have taken any one of those 3 before Chubb.
Yeah, Red.
And I'm partial, but I'm not. At the number 2 pick, it's 2 players for me. It's CMC or it's Double J, Jay Jefferson. But like I get it, but I don't. Like you have, and I love the second pick because that first pick is wild pressure. The second pick is like, all right, whatever that person picked, I could work off of that. Like you said, CMC gonna have a resurgent year, and I'm not just saying that. He looks great. He looked like he motivated. Even Saquon at the lower end. I'm not choosing Chubb over Saquon. I'm not.
Nope.
So reach.
Big reach. I would have even taken, if you're really, really gonna reach, I would have even gone Bijan before them.
For sure, because his projections, and I don't even rock with that.
His upside.
Yeah, yo.
Yeah. I get the point that Fritz was trying to make as far as like, he's a solid running back. He's got nobody else in the backfield to worry about. But
just so we're clear, thank you, my cousin, because with your reach, I got my man at 4.
Right.
So,
right.
I can't be bad. I can't be too bad.
So let's go through the round. Let's go through round 1 real quick. So we had Ra with the number 1 pick. He picked Jefferson.
That's not a bad pick. That's not a bad pick.
It's not a surprise either.
No.
For sure.
We talked about Fritz in the number 2. He picked up Chubb.
Yikes.
Ra is what I call a safe drafter.
Yeah. We got runs and throws. That's Rob. He picked up Chase.
That's not a bad pick at all.
You can't go wrong with the number 3 pick picking up Chase.
No.
Number 4
I think
pick.
This is a steal. Honestly, at 4, I think this is a steal.
Number 4 pick, you picked up Christian McCaffrey. Number 5, I think that's is that Walker? Walker. Smooth operator? Yeah.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Yeah, he picked up Austin Eckler. And then Nick picked up Travis Kelce. I don't know about picking up Travis Kelce at 6. How you guys feel about that?
Yeah,
Was this
I
before
think
the
that was a
injury or
light
after the
reach.
injury?
Huh?
This was before the injury, right?
It's the draft.
Because no, when did the
No,
injury? Oh no,
they
because
knew
the
they
injury
knew
happened like the day of the game or something like that, right?
Right.
no, they knew about his leg already. I'm pretty sure he was having
No,
leg
you're
issues
right.
already.
You're right. You know what? It's a slight reach.
Um,
For me, it's a slight reach.
yeah, for me, I know Kelsey's the number one guy over there. I know he's probably going to be putting up wide receiver numbers throughout the year, probably, as long as
Right.
he's not hurt. But yeah, six to me is a little too early. Like it's a small reach. It's not a huge reach. I think it's a
Well,
small
I
reach.
mean, if you think about like what was taken after that, like what you could have had. So then I took after Travis Kelsey was taken, I took Tyreek Hill.
Shout out to
Yeah.
that because that's your name. That's a good look. Just for
Yeah.
like uniformity. That's a very good look. That's a very good look.
Thank
And I
you.
don't
Thank
like
you. I
giving you
appreciate
props. I
that.
don't like you like that. I don't like you
Yeah, I
like that.
know. I
So
know. Okay. And then after that, Stephen Diggs was taken by Paul, and then Saquon Barkley by Mark, Tony Pollard by Steph, Bijan by Mel, and then
Garrett Wilson.
Jim took Garrett Wilson.
Yes.
Yo, that's a nice
Which was
double pick.
basically interchangeable because I had to turn around. So like my 12th pick is my 12th and 13th pick are basically my 12th pick because it could have been either guy.
Right, right. So then in round two, you turned around and took AJ Brown.
Yep.
Let me ask you a question. Why didn't on the turn you pick up a RB? Do you think
Uh, I was looking ahead at some RBs that I thought I'd be comfortable with in on my team later on, and
later on in the rounds?
yeah, I felt like the difference between picking Josh Jacobs and who I would get later on versus me picking AJ Brown versus, going into the next round, being left with like maybe like DK or Pickens or DJ Moore, which is like kind of like who went around like those areas. Like I just weighed those two options and I thought that I'd be able to get a better running back later than I would a wide receiver. So I just wanted to go. And again, PPR league, I wanted people who I thought were going to get the most catches, the most yards, and you know, if
Right.
tragedy didn't happen, those two picks would have been amazing for me. Right now, I don't know what's going to happen now with one of those picks.
And Loud, you got to remember too, your strategy is different from my strategy, different from Jim's strategy. So,
Yeah,
like, one person says, I'm going to draft this position, that position, that position. Another person's like, nah, I'm doing something. I'm gonna shock the world. So, you know,
yeah,
Well,
it's
see, I'm glad you brought that
yeah.
up because I know we are getting a little ahead of ourselves, but we can talk about values a little bit later. But since you brought that up, I want to talk about like ADP. So ADP is kind of like a baseline of like where everyone's the average draft position, right? So like a lot of people I feel like who reach don't really value the ADP. So like when you see someone like Fritz jump like that and reach, that kind of messes up everybody else's ADP now. Because now
Yeah.
somebody's getting value,
it throws
somebody's
everything
getting
off.
fun.
Yeah.
Throws everything off. So that's why when you look at some people's teams, you see some people's teams, you're like, man, why they bench look like that? And it's
Yeah.
because everything got thrown off because they was drafting it out of the ADP. So I think it's
Way to
very
go,
important.
Fritz. Way to go.
No, but
Way to
see,
keep the family name up, my brother.
this is what I'll say. I'm not a huge fan of ADP, mostly because, and not that I want to sit here and say that like I'm smarter than anybody or anything like that. Like obviously, there's much smarter people who are creating these algorithms and all this stuff. And honestly, ADP is kind of just a consensus of what people have been drafting at anyway. So I'm not
Correct.
trying to pretend like I'm much better than anybody else in football, but when I'm constructing my team, there's players that I want. And if I think that that player is going to have a good year, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get them by the time my next pick's going to come around, I'm not afraid to jump for that player because, I know like I wanted Garrett Wilson. Like I chose him around a good time, but like I think even if I had the 10th or 11th pick, I may have gone Garrett Wilson just because I don't think I was going to get him like 5 picks
Right.
later. So
Right. Okay.
And the
No,
thing with
how do you feel about
fantasy, the
ADP?
thing with fantasy, me, I started using ADP late. I've been rocking fantasy at least 15, 20 years, but I started looking at it recently. The thing is, like Jim said, let's say you're going into a draft, like five other people want that one player. So if you feel, okay, you know what? I'm going to go off a bit. During COVID, we used to do battles every Friday night via Zoom.
yep.
If you don't know me, I love AZ. AZ will be there in the third round. But you know what? I want that dude. I'm gonna go get him. So it may be a reach
Hmm.
for you, and maybe a reach, or maybe a reach for someone else. But if that's who you want, that's who you want, and it is what it is.
And one other thing again, like, and I get that, like, the point of ADP is that you can get some of these guys later and you don't have to jump, but like even marginally, like let's say like I had the 12th pick, right? So I get 12 and 13. After 12 and 13, I'm not getting another pick until like 24, 25, right? So like
Hmm.
I'm fully aware that I can jump like almost a full round on somebody early because I want them. And realistically, at the end of the year, how many people fall in exactly at their ADP anyway? Like maybe I could have gotten some people a little later in the draft, but do I want to risk
Right.
it?
And another thing with ADP, like ADP doesn't factor in wild reaches. It doesn't. Like it's going by computers or last year. Like some people were like, yo, I remember a year. This is when Torrey Holt was on the Rams, and he was like on his like sort of decline. Someone drafted him number one overall. Like, and it's like, no, like, come on, son. Like, he's gonna be there.
Hmm.
But if that's
Hmm.
who you, if that's who you want to build your roster, that's like, there's no wrong answer. I mean, there is wrong answers, but you get what I'm saying.
So you
I,
so the both of you guys are in agreement that like you draft whoever you want.
I drafted him within reason. Like, I'm not gonna draft a defense first round, but like, okay, perfect example. If I wanted Bijan, right, and the paper said the cheat sheet says ADP is 3. If I'm in one and I want Bijan Robinson, I'm gonna
yeah.
pick Bijan Robinson because you know me, I don't care about ridicule. I'm gonna pick who I want to pick.
And
Okay.
that's the perfect example because Bijan Robinson in most drafts is going towards the late first round if you got lucky early second round, right? So if you really
Right.
think that this guy's going to blow up and have like an amazing year and he could possibly be like top two, top three in fantasy, and this is the guy you really want, and
You
you have
know,
the first, second, or third pick, if you really want him, I mean, grab him if you really are willing to take that risk and you think that it's there, like I'm perfectly fine with that. Like you can tell in the like Raw to me is an ADP drafter. Like he wants the safe thing. He wants to know that this is the guy that belongs here. You know, I
like
don't think
he's not gonna like
no,
reach or like take a flyer on like you know what I like this guy.
exactly. Like you know the names that he likes and who he's gonna pick. And I don't mean to pick on Raw in this thing, but he's just an example
I
of
mean
somebody
to
who I
pick
think
on Ra, pick on
falls into this.
fucking Ra.
I think he's just one of these people that you see that he takes these metrics into consider. Like I think he'll take the metrics over his gut feeling over a player.
I agree with you, Jim. I think Ra is a good example of someone who follows the metrics more so than someone like yourselves who just go with your gut. Me personally, I'm someone who follows the metrics as well. I pretty much draft according to
Now
ADP.
let
So
me ask y'all a question because I'm
Yeah.
not I'm not a mock draft guy. You guys are mock draft guys, right?
yes,
Now,
I might draft heavy.
according to the ADP and in the mocks, do they match?
Well,
Uh,
I mock
yeah.
on Yahoo, so I kind of have a good idea of where the
Well,
guys
that's what
are.
I'm saying. Like according to the ADP on Yahoo, like
Oh
are they
no, Yahoo's completely different.
okay?
The ADP that I use is completely
Oh, it's different
different.
from the Yahoo. Okay, okay,
Yeah.
I got
Yeah, Yahoo is all over the place.
Yeah. So first off, like I mock just because I just like the act of drafting, but like I don't take any like I don't look into like my mock drafts at all. Like I don't think they're an accurate assessment of anything
Yeah,
because
like
one,
from no, you don't know these people. You don't.
no, you don't know these people, which is fine. But these people,
I
like
think some of them are bots.
some people are bots. I think some people, I believe, just come in, they draft
The
like two
troll.
players, and that's it. They want to just see who they're gonna get like the first like 2 or 3 rounds, and then they're like auto picking for the rest of them. So like I
Right.
don't think it's a I see why people do it, but I don't particularly like it to like I did 3 mock drafts this year just because I wanted to just do the motions, right? And none of those mock drafts went anywhere like any of the stuff that I did. And I did them at my place because I once I knew I had the 12th pick, I started
How
doing the
you?
12th
That's
pick
how you mock
and
to see
and
trends.
and yeah, and in none of my drafts did I get Garrett Wilson or AJ Brown. One of my drafts I had like Pollard and somebody else. Another draft I think I had Tyreek Hill and somebody else, and like it wasn't even close.
Yeah, but I think for me, it's to familiarize myself because specifically in like Reg's League, where you only get like 2 seconds to make a pick,
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
need to know
you got to be
exactly
on it.
where you got to
yeah.
know exactly who are your guys that you need that you're gonna be around. So you kind of prepare, like, okay, this round I got this guy around, something like that. I don't know. That's just me.
I just got one more point to make about the draft because I know we spent a lot of time on this. People need to stop complaining about the time for draft picks. If half the people in this league talk about how nice they are and this stuff and how great they are and how they're in these other leagues that travel to like Bali to go draft and shit. Like,
Shot, shot, shot,
okay,
shot,
okay,
shot.
that's great, but like, don't complain about if you're so good at picking, you know how to use your queue, and you have right after your first pick, let's say you have the first pick in the draft. The first pick in the draft is going to be the shortest pick you're going to have because after that, you can look through, see who's projected to go in different places, start throwing people on your queue, and then they're right there to look at. So you don't have to scroll through 400 names. You scroll through while everybody else is drafting, and you put your queue, you pick some QB, you pick some running backs, you pick some wide receivers, you pick some stuff, and then instead of scrolling through 10,000 names, you're scrolling through 10 names, and that's it.
Right,
Like
right.
that's all you have to do. And you don't really need more than 30 seconds a pick. You probably need less, but 30 seconds, it's plenty of time.
First, this is the reason for me. I like short times because generally, not everyone shows up for the draft. If you draft in for like 2 minutes and that one person's not there, Rap City,
Okay.
Yeah.
bro,
I
it's
can't,
not
I can't
fun.
get it. I can't get it that far.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, let's move on. Do you guys have any values from any other rounds that you guys want to discuss really briefly before we move on?
I like round three, Calvin Ridley at in Sweet Love, whoever that is. That's a good pick. I think Calvin
That's
Ridley.
that's Mel.
I think he's gonna be a problem this year.
I
Him and Trevor Lawrence, they're gonna be
we
problems
already saw it week one. We already
for
got
sure.
some glimpses. Yep.
So
Yep.
not to toot my own horn, but for me, I feel like I like that I got Jordan Addison in the 8th round. I think he's gonna have a really good year, and then even better. And I know some people were hyping him last year, but I think after the first game, you saw that he's gonna start getting looks and he can play again. Grabbing Michael Thomas in the 9th, I think is gonna be big for me.
Yeah, I thought he was like a forgotten
Yo,
man,
I was a little worried about that pick. I was like, yo, Jim is wilding. He's on that shit.
and then
He
he
needs to
looked good
relax.
though. And then
He did look good week
Look
one.
good.
he looked good.
You look good.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
think I think those are going to be 2 good picks for me. And I'm only using my picks because I didn't get a chance to look at everybody's like
Right.
late round stuff. So I figured I'd just like grab one that I knew off the top of my head.
Okay, cool. All right, we're gonna move on to week one of the Laces Out League itself. We're gonna talk about the closest game of the week, which was Dalvin and the Chipmunks beating Smooth
Hey,
Operator. So Reg beating I think that's Walker,
I'll take
Smooth
it.
Operator,
I'll take it. I'll take it.
111 to 102. That was the closest matchup.
You,
Anything you
you,
guys want to
you,
discuss about that matchup?
well, you know what's even funnier about that matchup? Reg had 2 players score 0.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
T. Higgins put up a donut and a Conquo put up a donut.
Oh my goodness.
That's what I be doing out here in these streets, man. Like
So
you know,
like
Wow.
that game was close, but it shouldn't have been that close.
it should have been that close. Listen, I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
Yeah. So let's take real quickly, let's take a look at Walker's team. How you guys feeling about this team? So far, he's got Deontay Johnson, who's probably not playing.
He's doubtful already.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
out because
He's out for
Oh, he's
4
out.
he
Yeah,
weeks.
pulled a hammy for like 3
Corey.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
So
out for
he
4 weeks.
he's done.
And then he had Sky
Eckler's hurt.
he had Sky Moore in the lineup.
Yeah, Sky Moore is trash.
He really is. He really is. He's
I mean,
so,
yo, but let's look at the rest of his team though.
I mean,
Ugh.
he also has Gainwell is hurt. Yeah, I mean it's going to be a rough go for him. But
But he's
but, you know,
he's the one who's been
he has
He
a good
got-
he's been
record.
doing this.
he got
He's been
Josh
doing this
Allen.
for years though.
Yeah,
He's been doing it for he's in a big league that like apparently
Right.
like the NFL actually runs his draft for him, and they have it in like the rooftop of Vegas.
Shade.
Listen.
Like the players actually come to his draft and they pick. Oh, they're like, yo, Jefferson, come over here.
Listen, okay, so that was the closest matchup, and like you said, which I did not notice, Reg had two people that didn't score any points. That's crazy.
Yo,
Anyway, moving on.
but all I'm gonna say is Cincinnati had an odd week.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen again. We don't think that's gonna happen again.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think it'll happen again either.
I know Jim doesn't want to talk about this next topic, but the most lopsided game of the week was
I mean,
me
what
versus
do
him.
what are you gonna do when you face Tua, Hill, and the Dallas defense?
Yo.
Plus Olave put up 20. I'm like, what? There's nothing you can do.
Oh,
Okay, look at this. We have 12 people in the league. I would have beat 8 other teams this week.
had
So
you?
it's not like my team played terribly. I had one of the worst matchups that I could have had.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I play you this week in another league so I can get some revenge.
For sure, yo.
Well, I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but yo, my team showed up this week. I think Paul called me the other day saying, "Oh, your team is not gonna be able to put up those numbers," and he's probably right. They probably won't be able to put up those numbers, but
Listen,
they did this
week to week. That's all. You won
Right.
your week, bro. That's all I'm
So-
at.
Right.
So I'll say this: your team's not going to be able to put up numbers like that every week, but overall, I kind of like your team.
Your
I
team is pretty solid. Like you're
It's a
good
solid
all
team.
around. Yeah.
You probably,
Thank
I
you.
would say the only thing you really need to work on really on your team right now is
Quarterback?
you gotta hope that Andrews comes back, and is good. Because if Andrews comes back, then your team's even solid. And I would say having to start Cam Akers is not it. So, you know,
Well, he's on my bench right now.
yeah, I think you gotta hope. Which I know he had a shitty first game, but I think Tony's probably gonna be better for you going forward, and he'll probably be in
Of
your
course.
flex.
I'm banking on that.
But
I'm
you know what,
banking on
too?
that.
You need Kelsey back. Once Kelsey gets
Yes.
back,
Yes.
Yeah.
Needs somebody else to open up the stuff.
Yeah.
them
the,
lanes,
So-
them
so
lanes.
yeah.
that. Anyway, moving on, let's talk about we gotta talk about this one team. Yeah. Yeah, this one team, Rob, we gotta talk about your team, bro.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
So you got a total of 68-18.
You know what makes that score even worse? His defense scored 20.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So he really could have been. Oh, because he had Jets. Yes.
Yeah, the Jets.
He
So like, I
really
mean,
could be
the Jets are a good defense,
They're
and you
a very
expect them
good
to do
defense.
good, but like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't think that they would get 20, like maybe 10.
For real.
Right.
Damn.
Let's take a
that's
look
brutal.
at we gotta take a look at his team real quick.
No, he
'cause
got Joe
it's-
Burrow. I'm looking right now. He got Joe Burrow, Chase. That's the stack. London, Brandon Cooks, Derrick Henry, Rashad White, Dallas Goddard, and Tyler Higbee. That's the starters. On the bench, you got Judy, Njoku, Quentin Johnson from the Chargers, Sam Howell.
Who?
That's a good question. Sam Howell, your quarterback.
Wait,
DeAndre.
I don't want any Quentin Johnson hate here because I think he's going to be a solid receiver this year.
Better than Mike Williams or not?
Yes.
Really?
I think he will be, and I think because Mike Williams is going to get banged up anyway.
He is.
He's already banged up. He's already in
Yep.
concussion protocol. The thing is that they need to get this guy in the field because he's a bigger, more explosive Mike Williams.
Okay. Oh, he's
Okay.
a big
He's
body.
he's a big dude. Yeah, he's a big guy.
Okay.
So he's Mike Williams, but more explosive.
Got you. Then it's Lyle's quarterback, Sam Howell, Deion Jackson, and then Cup on the IR. But that's a stash, so we'll see, man.
Yeah.
And his defense, like Jim said, is the Jets.
And I just want to say this. I think Drake London is a great wide receiver, but I don't think he's going to be great for fantasy
For
overall.
Atlanta.
The amount of looks that get
Fits.
thrown around in Atlanta is not it's not enough. Like you're basically hoping that Drake London gets like 50% of like 20 passes.
Yeah, they
It's
just
just
want to
not.
run the ball. They just want to run the
Yeah.
ball. That's all they want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys all done with that?
Yep.
Okay, let's move on to the next topic. All right, injuries. I mean, we briefly talked about one injury, kind of. We had a moment of silence, but
Yeah.
we have some other injuries to talk about. J.K.
That's
Dobbins
why I don't
out for
draft
the
him,
season.
man. That's why I don't.
No.
Yo, and you draft that dude kind of high. Like he's going first, late first, early second, mid
Yeah.
second. Like that's a high pick.
So brings me to my question: who's the person pick up off waivers? I know the waivers just passed, but is it Gus Edwards or is it Hill? Who you guys would pick?
After what I was
I think
reading,
Hill's better.
Hill is better, but Edwards is like the bus. Like he gets those short yardage.
Right.
Like he'll
Right.
he'll be a dude that'll rush for 20 yards for the game and have 2
hmm
touchdowns.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the missing carries aren't even going to go to either one of those dudes. They're going to go to Lamar.
Pretty much. No, for real,
Okay.
for sure.
Um, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
You guys want to discuss this?
Man, listen.
Yeah.
I'll let Jim.
Jim, you have the floor, sir.
So I have two things. One, I have what I have to say about the Aaron Rodgers injury, and two, I have a very hot take about this game
Oh
overall.
boy, here we go.
So one, this is easily the most devastating injury in football history. Like the expectations for Rodgers and the Jets and all this stuff, the fact that he goes out after 4 plays, 75 seconds he played. The
Jim,
fact that
is
that
it
this
like
happens,
when
yeah.
Trent Green went down for the Rams? Remember that? Remember all the hype the Rams was getting?
Yeah,
Trent
yeah,
Green
yeah.
went
I
down?
think,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I think it's like that. I feel
Yeah.
like it's like, it's like all like I mean, you're a Niners fan. Alex Smith,
Yeah.
uh, um,
Jimmy G.
Jimmy Garoppolo, like you
Right.
guys know how this is. Yeah, yeah. Like I think this is probably in the aspect of a game has to be like one of the most devastating injuries to like a franchise. But here's my hot take. Now, I'm not saying this overall for the season or whatever, but I watched this game and the Jets offensive line was trash for pass blocking. For whatever reason, they can run block. They cannot pass block. And
hmm
Zach Wilson's getting killed for running out the pocket and all this stuff. I don't think the Jets win that game with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback.
That's a very hot take. And you know what? After watching that game, because I spoke to my Jets, I spoke to my Jets fans, boy, I was like, yo, I didn't realize how leaky the O line is, but you make a very good point. Their
He
pass
had
protection is trash, but their
yeah,
run protection is very good.
he had 4 plays and 3 of them he was pressured to the point where he couldn't even get a good throw off. And then he got hurt on one of them. And this is
So what
why
you're saying? Sorry to cut you off, Jim. That because Aaron Rodgers is not as mobile as Zach Wilson is, they don't win the game anyway.
yes, I think what happens is Aaron Rodgers winds up getting sacked all game
Yep.
and or like pressured all game. He doesn't get into any rhythm. He's
Bad
probably gonna
throwaways.
he might wind up going 3 and out more than Wilson did because there's a couple of times where Wilson, extended a play. Like he had a nice pass to Lazard. And I'll say this too. I'm not saying that it's supposed to happen, but every good quarterback, and I'm not saying that Zach Wilson's a good quarterback. He's the quarterback of my team. I'm going to root for him. Hopefully he does well. every good quarterback trusts their wide receivers to make plays, and the Jets never do this. And I know that the touchdown pass to Garrett Wilson should have either been knocked down or maybe
Like
intercepted.
Garrett Wilson made a
But
wild,
yeah,
great play.
but for how bad the throw was, Zach Wilson trusted Garrett Wilson to get something done. And I think if you have a guy that's at that level, you have to do that. This is what people did with DeAndre Hopkins. This is what people did with Julio Jones and these guys.
Calvin
Like,
Johnson,
yeah,
just
Calvin,
throw it up.
Mhm.
you gotta trust your players to get to get the job done. And was it a spectacular catch that shouldn't have happened? Yes. But like at least Wilson trusted his player enough to give him that opportunity.
See, now on the other
So
side of
so
that,
so what
go ahead, like my fault, my fault.
what's your prediction, Jim? What are you thinking about? There's two things. Is Aaron Rodgers coming back, and how far you think this Jets team is gonna go?
I think Aaron Rodgers will try to come back. Whether he's going to be a Jet next year or not, I think all depends on how well Wilson plays this season. If Wilson's functional enough and gets him to the playoffs or whatever and shows
Mhm.
progress, I can see them talking to Rodgers and see if Rodgers wants to go someplace else. Because you can't, if Wilson has a decent season, I can't see them benching him again to bring Aaron Rodgers back at this point. But as for the Jets season as a whole, I think the Jets are going to have a rough time this week with the Dallas Rush and everything like that.
Mhm.
But overall in the season, I don't see why, as long as Wilson can limit the three and outs, because that's what kills defenses is three and outs. As long as he can limit the three and outs, I think him being functional enough and once the teams ease up, I don't see any reason why they can't be, you know, 10, 11, 12 win team.
Wow. Interesting. Go ahead, Reg. You wanted to say something.
What I was gonna say is you can't live on those kind of plays though. Like, okay,
No.
that was a great play, but like sometimes you need a methodical drive.
Yeah.
15 plays, 7, 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Make sure you punish the defense. But
Right.
we gonna see, man. I'm gonna
We
say
are
this:
gonna
Garrett
see.
Wilson, he learned some things from
Yeah.
A Rod. So
Just remember two things. One, Garrett Wilson had 1,100 yards last year with the
with
majority of the
Zach Wilson,
season with Zach Wilson. Two, they put a very specified playbook in place for Aaron Rodgers to be in that game on Monday night. The playbook's got to look different and
Yeah.
should look different for
Yeah.
Wilson now that he's in. So that's
like
the other
move
thing.
him, like slide the
Like
pocket,
yeah.
roll
So
out.
like I think it's gonna look a little bit more different this week. Hopefully Hackett can get the job done.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Mark Andrews. You guys want to
What
talk
was
about?
it?
I have.
What is it? His hamstring, his ankle? What is it?
It's just quadricep.
Oh, that's
So
the lingering.
yeah, so yeah, and that's where tight ends are going to keep getting hit when they get tackled and everything. So, but overall, Mark Andrews has been a pretty good uh player to play through injuries. So I think if it's not too bad, I think he should be fine.
Yeah. Well, I got him on two teams, so I kind of need him to come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Plus it'll
Moving
open it up
on.
more for my man Zay Flowers.
Exactly.
Yo, yo, I'm so up. You listen. If you guys watched the podcast last
Yo,
time pre-draft,
he was talking crazy. He was talking crazy in the chat. Yo, I got Andrews for you. But Kels, whoever got Kels, he was like, yo, I got Andrews. You talking wild slick. Now look at you. He there with Kels
pre-draft,
chilling. He there with Kels chilling.
pre-draft, you guys heard me. I said he's gonna win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I believe it. He's super
No,
talented.
he's very good. He's
Yeah.
very good.
He
I
catches
believed in your
everything.
I believed in your prediction, so I took him
Yeah.
I took
You
him
know
So
just
what?
you
to
You
picked
troll
know
him
who he
you.
up.
reminds me of? He reminds me of how Tavon Austin should have been.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he looked good. He
Okay.
looked good.
Next injury. Oh, let's talk about my man Cooper Cup.
Yo, bro, honestly, I think he plays 8 games, if that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize. So generally, MCL, ACL, your knee or whatever, but high ankle sprains are a thing. I didn't know, and
Yeah.
if you get it, if you trigger it before the season, he gonna be in and out. Like he gonna have maybe a couple of like good to great games, but other games, these cats,
Yep.
Juju, Tutu, whatever these dudes' names are, I don't know. But yeah, like he's not gonna be no like offensive player of the year candidate. Put it that way.
No, I don't think so either. I definitely don't think he's coming right back when he's
Nah,
eligible.
not at all.
And then two, it really depends on what they think of this team by the time he's ready to come back. Because like if this, because they're talking about like maybe mixing everything up and like kind of
I heard
starting
they
over
may
and stuff.
bring Stafford to the Jets. I heard they may bring. So someone was saying, I was watching. I don't know if it's First Take or Get Up. It was like by October, if they're trash, they're gonna break that. They're gonna break up Donald, Cup,
Yeah.
or like someone's going.
So I like Stafford. I'd love him throwing to Wilson and Lazard and all that. I
Or
just, again, I don't think that Stafford's going to be able to do anything with that line. Until that line gets shored up, I don't
I
think.
didn't know that line was like that. I did it.
Sorry about that, fellas.
You
No
good?
I am
problem.
back though. Okay, next person we want to discuss real quick. Kenneth Gainwell. We just found out that he might not play this week. Who you going with? You going Swift, Penny, or Scott?
Swift.
I think they're probably going to give Penny the majority of the carries, but like they're going to
Which is
definitely throw.
crazy because I just dropped him. I
Yeah, I
just
think.
dropped
I
him.
just dropped him as well.
Yeah,
Please.
I don't think he's going to do. I'm not saying he's doing much, but he's probably
Right.
going to get the majority of the carries. But like they'll throw Swift in there because Swift is the receiving back, definitely.
Okay. All right. Last person to talk about is Travis Kelsey. He's probably coming back. It's not really much to
Yeah,
talk
because
about,
it was like
right?
a mini buy, so it's just a first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I just hope he's
Okay.
not coming back too quick.
for real.
Yeah, re-injure, right?
There was a second where they thought he was done for like an extended period of time. So like, I hope they're just not trying to hide it. He's trying to play through it. Like he wanted to play that game, but
Right,
like,
right.
I hope they just don't rush him back. I mean, you know, because to have KC not be in it like towards the end would suck. Like that's the team that you want to see doing well.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is true though.
Very true.
Okay, let's talk about next segment. We're gonna talk about waivers. It just happened earlier today. Everybody got their waiver claims, except Reg, because he doesn't spend any money. He's always waiting like a vulture for
No,
people.
it's not a vulture. It's not vulturing. I wait. You know what? I'm cheap. I like to get my players for free. I'll get
But
Joe Nobody
but it's
for
not
zero.
real money, bro. It's
Okay, but
not real
how
money.
am I bothering you? Am I asking you for money? Thank you. Carry on, sir. Carry on.
Okay. You're right. You're right. I have
I
nothing
have
to
my
say
own
about that.
strategy. You have yours. Let me cook. Let him cook. Let him. Let him.
I want you to
Be like, back up! Back up! Mind your business, that's all. Mind your business.
Okay. Back up! Back up! Mind your business. That's all. Just mind your business.
cook. I don't get out the kitchen, but
Spend some money.
so we got listen, the hottest waiver pick this week was the
Puka.
wide receiver.
That's a Rams cat, right?
Yeah,
Nakua,
Puka.
right? Off of the Rams.
Yeah, Puka.
Yeah, that fool. Jim, you bid the highest. You bid
I did that. I did.
$27.
Yes,
That's
I
not
did.
bad though. That's not bad.
So I mean, I've been actually like getting in the trenches a little bit more, trying to figure out like what people are worth. And honestly, I don't know if he's gonna be good or not, but like, I feel like I could use another wide receiver. Again, I don't know
Mhm.
what Garrett Wilson's gonna be this year.
Or
Right,
I
right.
felt like I could use another wide receiver, and who knows, if Cup doesn't come back or whatever, or if he's not really coming back, and this guy really does like keep blowing up. Maybe it'd be a trade chip for me. Maybe it'll blow up my head. Sometimes I don't really, I'm like Reg. I don't like going big on free agents in with my thing, but like this year I was like, fuck it, let me try something new.
Okay. All right. So the person who bid under you was Steph with what's Russian got to do with it? She bid
Yeah.
$18
that's a fair
and
bit.
then
A fair bit.
and then runs and throws is that's Rob. He only bid $9.
That's
He's
pretty
being
cheap.
extra cheap.
That's pretty cheap. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty cheap.
Like you might as well not even bid at that point.
Like
So for me, I think based on how his team performed and the fact that he has cup runs and throws, it should have put a significant bid out for this guy. Unless he just really
Agreed.
thinks that he's not going to do anything and it's a fluke, that's fine. But like it in fantasy football, one of the things that you look at, especially when you're starting to do waivers and all this stuff, is targets. And this guy had 15 targets.
Don't
So
don't don't yo, don't tell the secrets. Don't tell the secrets, bro. Chill.
could it be a
Edit
fluke?
edit that part
Yes,
out.
but
Edit that part out,
Yeah,
yeah.
please.
edit that out.
Listen, I don't I'm one of these people. I like parity. I like as much competition as I can in the league. I don't care about giving out my secrets. Most people probably aren't going to listen anyway. They're going to do their own shit regardless. So, but like for me, there's things that you look at are not necessarily like on the waiver wire isn't necessarily production overall. Like you could look at consistent production if you can find that on the waiver wire. But for me, I want to see like opportunities. And if somebody's getting a lot of carries or a lot of targets or things like
Agreed.
that, then that's what I'm going to
Agreed.
look for.
It's
Like,
I
yeah,
agree with you, Jim. It's all about the volume. You want to see how many carries someone is getting, as opposed to the other running back. If it's a timeshare, you want to see, how much of that one person that you're interested in is getting over the other person. If it's like a 30-40 split or 50-50 split, then you could take either or. But if you want to try to get somebody like a Christian McCaffrey last game, I think he got
yeah,
like 99% of the splits, the carries.
yeah,
Like, why wouldn't you want that as a running back on your team? You know what I'm saying?
exactly, exactly.
So, but we definitely gonna edit this part out. Um,
For sure.
I'm gonna play it and rewind it. Gunshots and all.
Gunshot
um,
forward.
okay, let's talk about we got a couple of more pickups. I picked up Joshua Kelly and Zay Jones, both for $18. I was the only one who bid on those two players. I feel like I could have bid $1 and probably got
That's always the worst. So you see that nobody bid on the player that you
right.
wanted, but I
Let me
mean,
tell you
Joshua
something.
Kelly should have gotten bids.
He should have. You
Realistically,
know
he
who
should
should
have
have
gotten
gotten him?
bids.
Zay Jones. I've been following that motherfucker for like 4 years. There was a year he was getting so much hype. I drafted him. He had like 10 catches for the season. Fuck Zay Jones, yo. I'm good. I'm good.
Reg definitely holds fantasy grudges
Yes,
against
I
Yes, he
do.
does. Yes, he
Yes,
does.
I most definitely do. I most definitely do.
And oh no, we got two more. We got Shaheed from New Orleans.
I really like that pickup. I like how they use him.
Is he
They use him as
a running back or like a slot guy?
he's like one of those dual like wide receiver dudes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I was gonna pick him up in our other league, the chat league,
Yeah.
but I already have too many New Orleans peoples. It would have been three. I was like, no, I'm good.
You're gonna be crazy on that bye week.
Exactly. But it is what it is. I think Rob picked him up off of
Yeah,
waivers for
I
free.
think so. Which
So
which
he
I
might
which
tear his ACL and practice some shit. That's
nah,
what I'm
I
just
think
saying.
I think he may have bid like $5 for him or something. I think.
Oh, okay. Um, and the last pickup off of waivers was the Cleveland defense, which
That was
I
me.
wanted to pick up in our
That's not a
league,
bad look at
but
all for $5.
Jim outbid me in the other league. I was upset because I
Yep.
definitely put in the
Yep.
claim.
So
Nah,
my
Good
thing
pickup.
is, my thing in both leagues, I streamed Washington week one because I didn't pick any defenses until like the last round, and the defenses that I picked up I didn't really like. So I
Right.
wound up immediately after the draft. I wound up picking up Washington instead because they were playing Arizona. So I figured that would be like a good streaming defense. But I don't
Mhm.
want Washington all year long. So
No.
so I picked up Cleveland because one, they did good week one, and
I'm
two,
They
Miles
look good,
Garrett,
man.
man.
they have some really good matchups. So I think I'm gonna try to ride with Cleveland for a little bit,
Okay.
unless I can find
Don't
something,
for
unless I
sure.
can find something else out.
Okay. I think that's it. I think unless you guys have any more points to talk about,
No,
you
I
guys
just want
good?
to say I just want to say one thing before we end. Nice win this week, Reg.
Ah, yo, chill. If y'all don't know, that's that jinx. Yeah, that's that reverse. That's that RJ, that reverse jinx. Chill. I want to park.
Fosh could be the first booking of the game.
Wowzers, trousers.
Yellow card.
The Uno reverse.
He's Uno reversed it. That's a first.
Oh
No
man.
And I already know what I'm gonna put up when I say that in
Yo,
post
chill.
production.
You gotta chill. I'm not watching. I'm not watching, man.
I'm gonna be texting you all weekend, Reg.
So please don't.
You seen that play? You seen that play?
Chill, bro. Chill.
I want to say one thing before we leave. We do have a guest next week, so get ready, tune in. We have a guest already lined up. This person is ready to go. Stay tuned for your call because you could be the next person after that. Appreciate you guys for spending the time with us. Laces Out, Season 2, Episode 2. Jim, Reg, Laces Out.
little
Peace.
footballs.
We out.
Laces out.
We ain't gon' never die, icons in real time. Why did I wait this long to let y'all in my ill mind? I think the hate was strong, so I went to a chill vibe. Could never say goodbye, I let my skill cry, let my soul bleed. Inside a rose wearing rosaries. Homie, I love the new NY, cause I'm the new NY and the old NY at the same time. I always hit the last shot when it's game